Hello, welcome to Off Grid Thoughts channel. In this video, I'm going to be kind of going over what I'm doing to my generator fuel tanks. In the last video, I was working on putting drain spouts in the bottom of the tanks, and I've done that to a couple of my tanks. I've been pretty busy with other projects and things around my house and all sorts of things. But now I'm kind of getting back into the generator fuel tanks, and it's 12-volt battery. I had another previous video about my off-grid saw. I picked this up at a thrift store. This is a 12 volt. Put a cord on it, and I've got an adapter cord here that you can plug in 12 volt accessories with. That's a homemade adapter cord. It's a 10 gauge extension cord attached to battery clamps, to booster clamps. So that's pretty much, that. But the reason I'm kind of showing this again is, I went ahead and got a metal diamond blade for the saw, because this is a low RPM saw. And as far as the fuel cap, the gas cap on these, I don't really think they're widely available. I'm not saying you couldn't find them, but they look exactly like Honda small engine fuel tank caps. But the Honda is a little bit smaller. So, it's kind of an issue. Well, I'll say a potential issue. If I need to replace a fuel cap, because I plan on having these tanks for many years, maybe the rest of my life. And I thought, well, what if I can't find these fuel caps? And I thought, well, you know what? Just get some of these clone tanks for Honda small engines. To just do some measurements and then cut the metal out, how much I need, and do some metal work, take some paint off here, and fuse it with steel epoxy. And I don't know if I'm going to get like some thin circular thin steel gasket or something like that. Maybe put it on there first, then put the piece from this on top, or I'll just go straight with using this and just stuff a lot of steel epoxy around it. Not quite sure yet, but I'm getting ready to do something like that. So I took this 12 volt circular saw, I put the tank up in a vise here, and I cut straight line and just kept turning it over on each direction, and it wasn't long. This low RPM saw just cut right through it, just like butter. And I ended up, I got two tops now. So I can take these and put them in my 14-inch chop saw, whatever width. I've got a smaller chop saw than I've got the 14. And then, so, I can get this as small as I need it to be. And then just fuse it right on there. I've decided these fuel level indicators on these tanks, I've had some success when I put it in there. They work fine, but then I had a couple of them after some time, they get stuck or they're a little bit sticky. And I thought, you know what? I don't really want those in there. So I'm going to make some block off plates for these and just put some, homemade block off plates. Put some steel epoxy to seal everything up very good. And because I can tell how much fuel's in there when I look down in there. So, that's not going to be too big of a concern there. Uh, but this is kind of a start. I need to get some more of these little tanks. These are just clone tanks. These aren't genuine original tanks. Um, but I've already bought a whole bunch of replacement fuel caps for this, and I thought, well, just do it that way. Then that way, have a common fuel cap. Uh, I'm not going to have an issue trying to replace them if they get worn, if the rubber gasket gets worn out, or you know, I'll just put a whole new cap on there. So, I've noticed lately there's many of the off-grid channels on YouTube. They're not putting up as many videos, and I think I'm in that category too. I'm so busy doing a lot of other things. And people, they are, yeah, some people are, preparing for different things. You know, the news makes them nervous or something. I'm not going to say that I'm doing anything different than I always do. I mean, I've been preparing for off grid for, probably over 15 years, making plans for close to 25 years, but actual tangible progress about 15 years. Myself, I'm not doing anything different than what I usually do, but I do know, I've been very busy doing other things that I have to take care of, and but I'm going to be putting up some more videos as I can. Uh, I just thought I'd make a little bit of a little video about this. Uh, this is just about making your off-grid, do-it-yourself equipment the way you want it to be. Whether you're buying components, making your own stuff, or whatnot. And we all learn by trial and error, and we see what works and what doesn't. So, one thing like on these tanks, these come with a couple of studs on the bottom. I put it in my vise here and took a hacksaw and cut these off first so I could lay this flat. Because even when you get this up here, you need to turn it around, and those studs would be in the way. So, um, this is basically trash, I guess. I mean, you could use this for some kind. This area is kind of flat, I guess. Well, not really, because it's thinking, oh, you could take some metal out of there for something, but not really, because it's got another piece either stamped or tacked to the inner piece. So probably not. It's probably just something that's going to go in the trash can. But I try to save my little bits of metal for if I'm working on something, then I don't have to go buy something. But yeah, for now I've got two of these. I've got quite a few of these generator tanks, so I'm probably going to be getting the same number of these little tanks so I can have the common type of fuel caps. So, all right. Well, everybody take care out there. Don't give up on your off-grid dreams. I'm certainly not, even though, I have a lot of other stuff that I'm doing right now, and, stuff I have to take care of. But, this isn't, this is one of my off grid tools. This is the first significant use out of this tool that I've gotten. So that did a real good job because that's a low RPM saw. And, I thought about making a wood frame and kind of box it in and hold it down and doing all that. And I thought, no, I can just do it this way. Then put my 14-inch chop saw and cut what I need out of it. So there you go. Um, Again, take care out there. Don't give up on your off-grid dreams. Until the next video.